So what can I say about Scott? Well, there's a lot. I'd actually been following Scott for about a couple of years before I started to work with him. There was something about all of his content really, whether it was social media or emails. There's something about the way that he saw certain issues, even the issues that he decided to speak about around, entrepreneurial psychology and things like that. Every time that he talked about anything, it was just like a dagger to the heart. Like, he just had a way of talking about topics that just was exactly what I needed to hear, and exactly when I needed to hear it. And I had so much value from Scott just before I even got in touch with him. And then the reason that I decided to work with Scott as a one-to-one client, and the reason I did that was because I had reached a point in my business where I was struggling to see what was around the corner. I was struggling to see where the next stage of growth was going to come from, particularly because I knew I had options, but I couldn't square those options with the way that I actually wanted to grow. And if there's one thing that I knew about Scott, was that he approaches things with alignment at the core. Everything needs to be aligned. There's so many different ways to grow a business, but you want to make sure that it is the way that you grow your business the way that you want to. And that is what was most appealing to me about everything that Scott does. And so when I had got to the point where I was kind of blind to what was coming, and I needed guidance on how to grow my business to the next stage, that's when I decided to work with Scott one-to-one. And I spent an awful lot of money, but I know when people say this, it sounds a bit crazy, but I can honestly say that I got my money's worth after the first call. Well, actually, it was the second, because the first call was like get to know you, and then the second call was basically Scott's take on how he saw that I should continue to grow the business in the way that would work for me. And just after that first proper strategy call, I had my money's worth immediately, because then I had an action plan for the next 5 years. And then over the previous months, we've been working together on that plan, and it's still early days. But honestly, I feel like I'm getting the whole year's worth of mentoring pretty much for free, because I got so much value from that first call. So I think if you are interested in working with Scott, you already know it. And so my advice to you would be to follow your intuition, and you won't be disappointed.